Are you listening? Damn.
Hey everybody, this is Zach from Blackhouse.
And Alec from Blackhouse, and today we're going to do another review video for you. This one, we're reviewing the Asmodus Luna Squonker.
And here she is in the box, the Asmodus Luna Squonk, made in cooperation with Ultroner. We have the nice blue one. Keep in mind, all of these are completely unique, so while you might get one that's blue, all of these will be a little bit different from one another. So these are aluminum and stabilized wood. Nice, solid, beefy mod, pretty simple. Let's go through what we get in the box. Luna itself, obviously. Got your squonk right here. Button up top. Comes with an extra 7ml squonk bottle. Actually pretty nice. They have a metal cap so you can get them into the bottom pretty easy. And underneath the foam package here, you've got your standard warranty card, instruction manual. Oop, there we go. And of course, your battery warning.
One little side note for the mod itself, I've seen two different renditions of it in terms of the stabilized wood that it comes with. One, they're using just a solid stabilized wood, so you're going to get one solid pattern throughout your entire mod. And then the other one, they're actually, at least to me, it looks like they're taking the scraps from all of the different stabilized woods that they're using and throwing them together in a resin mold and then putting that as a completely separate option. So you can get one that's kind of a confetti look and you're getting all sorts of different stabilized wood in it, but I would consider that more of a resin mod, whereas this one is fully stabilized wood. So keep that in mind. There are a ton of different options just depending on what you want. So you can find a bunch of interesting stuff. I really like the designs that they're going with for this mod though. To go over the mod a little bit, we've got obviously just a single 18650, and I'm not a huge fan personally. I don't know how you feel about this, Zach, of the whole unscrewing. It's kind of like the high-end thing to do, but I just am not a huge fan of the screw.
Yeah, they're definitely, you get really solid lock-in with those, and you know, if you drop them, your battery's never going to rattle free, but yeah, it's just a bit of a pain for me. Yeah, that's a small nitpick.
I've seen people that are less advanced vapors oftentimes damage batteries by over-tightening those screws.
Yeah. Remember, just enough. Once it stops, you don't need to tamp that thing all the way down.
Yeah, so single 18650 is going to go positive up, I guess, positive into the mod, and then we're going to screw it back in there. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I do like that they used a magnet for the slot for the squonk bottle, and I think that the squonk bottles that they included are pretty dang nice. It looks like a stainless steel or an aluminum top and a nice squishy pliable bottle. Definitely not too firm like most of the bottles I see come in not super high-end squonkers. This one seems like it's definitely going to hold up. It's not going to crack or anything like that. Plus, one thing that I haven't seen from many other producers of squonk mods, especially in this kind of price range and for this level of vapor, they come with an extra bottle, and that's an uncommon thing. So very nice in that regard.
7 mils too, so I mean, hold a lot of juice in there.
Yeah, we don't have a squonk RDA right now, but I can tell you from playing around with these at the shop, from quite a few people having already picked them up at the shop, the squonking mechanism seems awesome in it. It doesn't provide too much pressure. It's not really one of those that always floods your coils, but it seems to always give a nice, consistent, even coat on your coils and not really more than that. I think that the bottle is probably the sole part of that equation. That's why they work so well.
It's a really well-designed system, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably one side note I'd throw in is if you got a low-profile airflow RDA, like the Phobia, for example, sometimes this can be a little bit tricky to get your squonk right, but other than that, I've seen it work just beautifully with all the other squonks that we've got at the shop.
So to talk about the chip that comes inside of it, it's going to have a chip for safety regulation purposes, but not for wattage regulation. So they're considering it, at least on their website, they're considering it an unregulated mod, but I'd say that's kind of a misnomer. It's not necessarily an unregulated mod. While you're getting an unregulated amount of power, you're still getting a lot of safety features to back you up. So kind of nice. Form factor is very much that of a mechanical squonker, but you're getting the safety features that you would get in something much more high-end. Dimensions on this bad boy boy, you're gonna get 26 millimeters in width. That's really probably the only one that matters. 46 millimeters, and then it's going to be 82 millimeters tall. So pretty small, especially for having a 7 mil squonk bottle inside of there. But having that, obviously, dimension the 26 millimeters, so you're gonna fit any sort of 26 millimeter up to 26 millimeter RDA. You could put a tank on here if you wanted, but I don't know why you would.
Yeah, it seems like a waste of the unit, obviously. Just to let you guys know what we're using today, this is Blackhouse's blend, The Clash. This is a lemon cream cake. My personal favorite from the shop. This is just delicious, tart but sweet lemon cream cake. It's designed after a specific one, but I can't tell you what shop we got from. So maybe one day we'll run a contest and see if you guys can guess what restaurant we modeled this after.
Yeah, man, I got addicted to that flavor for a good while. If you're into meringues, if you're into anything that's kind of more of a savory, sweeter treat, definitely try the Clash. You can find it online at blackhousevapor.com or in the shop.
If you come to the shop, you can sniff test things and you can vape test them now, but you have to drip into your tank and then walk 25 feet out in front of the shop.
All right, let's give this a go. So one little side note, I'm going to throw this back down here. Might be kind of hard to see, but that little pinhole right there is actually an LED that's going to give you different indicators. So if it flashes when you put your battery in, that means you put your battery in correctly. If it doesn't flash when you put your battery in, that means you put your battery in incorrectly. Every time you hit it, it's going to turn green. You might be able to, yeah, you can see that. And then obviously once you get down to 3.3 volts, that's another safety feature included in this mod, there's going to be a cutoff feature. 3.3 volts, obviously you don't want to go down really past that, so nice that they included that. You're not going to kill your batteries like you might in a mechanical mod. Most of what I've heard from people that have fallen in love with this thing is that it hits really quickly, much like a mechanical mod, so I'd like to find out if that's the case. Yeah, it does. I'm surprised with how quickly that hits for how low those coils are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just to give you guys a sense, watch the light and the vapor at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, to give you a sense, I've been using that on a dual battery mod, so it's kind of... That particular coil setup is meant to be used with a little bit more voltage than a single battery, but I'd say that is producing perfectly and really quickly. Once the coils get heated up, it hits immediately. Really does hit like a mechanical mod.
Yeah.
I'm always kind of scared with stabilized wood mods. Maybe it's just me, but I'm one of those people that gets leaking down the side fairly regularly with some RDAs, especially this OG Goon, but I love the flavor off of this OG Goon too much to put it away. But I'm always scared with stabilized wood that I'm going to ruin it.
It's a risk you gotta take when you do that stab wood life.
It's so pretty though. It feels really well constructed too.
It's a solid unit.
Holding it in the hand and really using it, we gotta say it feels extremely well constructed. It feels heavy, but not too heavy. For a single battery mod, it's right at the weight range that I want it to be at. It's not too intense, but you definitely feel the weight. You feel like if you do drop it, even with it being kind of one of those more high-end designs, it feels well built, like it's gonna hold together. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything about this mod. I don't have much more to it. I would say, okay, we can go through pros and cons. My pros and cons, pro is going to be the bottle itself is fantastic. Mm-hmm. The design I really like. I like where the button is placed. So if you look at that, the button is placed to where if I put my hand, it's kind of uncomfortable. There we go. I can do that. Button is placed to where my hand rests, my thumb just perfectly rests on the button, and my ring finger on my right hand presses perfectly into the little indentation for the bottle. So I think it's really well designed. I guess if you're left-handed,
about the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little more awkward, but it's just definitely more right-handed. 26 millimeters, fantastic pro for me. One more pro would be the chip inside of it regulating. Fires really quickly and hits hard, but also with the safety features so that you're not going to have any issues with batteries shorting and terrible things happening. Hopefully the chip will protect you from doing any of that as long as you're still being safe with the way that you vape this device. Cons for me, the battery door or battery screw plate, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of those. It's kind of the only con for me. That's all I've got. Stabilized wood, that's a totally a personal preference. I personally am a little scared of it just because juice runs down the side, and I feel like it's such a pretty mod. But if you're careful with it, I think it will definitely hold up. Pros and cons for you?
Pros and cons, yeah, why not? So, I mean, pros and cons for me, pretty much along the line with what Alex said. I mean, it's a great mod. The stab wood doesn't bother me. I'm really meticulous. When I not to like toot my horn, but I rarely overfill. I would just hate doing that. Nothing's worse than the feeling of juice down the side of your fingers.
It's a lifestyle, man.
I know. It's a sacrifice we all make. But otherwise, I mean, I think it's beautiful. Pros is definitely the aesthetics, the durability, the ease of use for sure. The deck up top, I think, perfect size. I use a lot of Apocalypses from Armageddon Manufacturing, and they fit just perfect on top of this if you want a little bit of a shorter profile. Cons, pretty much the same thing. That bottom screw, man, is just, I get it. It's functional. It's like airtight. It's dust proof, but it's just kind of fiddly and annoying for me. Another small thing for me, and this is just, again, it's a Squonk Life thing, is the getting Squonk bottles out. The Squonk bottle is beautifully designed. The hard cap is amazing. The stem system is probably the simplest one I've used, but it's just, it goes in pretty deep in here, so when you gotta get it out, you gotta squeeze it to pull it out. So make sure your juice bottle is pretty empty if you don't want to accidentally overrun. But otherwise, this is a beautiful mod. The chip makes it perfect for if you want to start squonking, get kind of close to mechanical, but don't want to drift all the way into that kind of thing. So beginner or advanced, I think this thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it for anyone looking for single 18650 squonk. This is going to be right up there with all the rest that I've seen. If you're
Absolutely.
You know, obviously there are different features to consider, but in terms of simplicity, reliability, and overall build quality and the way that it hits, I'd say this thing is right up there with some of the best that I've used, and even some of the higher end squonkers that I've used.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So great product all around, honestly.
Yeah, so you can check out this product at blackhousepaper.com. You can also check it out in the store if you want to feel what it feels like in your hand. Obviously, all of our staff will be more than happy to kind of walk you through the different squonks that we have in the shop and what the pros and cons are of this versus another one maybe for your specific circumstance. So it's always nice to come down to the shop and see specifically what is going to work best for you. But if you're just falling in love with this thing right now, you can always check it out at blackhousepaper.com. Thanks for watching, guys.
Have a good one.
Are you listening? Damn.